This video will show you how to replace the outer tie rod end on a Ford Transit-250. This is part of the front steering and suspension located behind your front wheel. Let's get into it. After the replacement of this part, you will want to get yourself a four-wheel alignment. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Safely raise and support the front end of the vehicle so your front wheel's off the ground. Now once we've done that, we're going to be using a 21mm to remove all 5 of our lug nuts. Then we can remove that wheel. Let's set that aside. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, we have a clear view of our tie rod ends leading towards our bellows boot and power steering rack. Now in this area, you're going to find that you have a 24mm jam nut. This is in between the inner and the outer tie rod end. We need to break this free. Now I mentioned this is a 24mm mounting nut, but I'm going to use long pliers to break this free so I have a little leverage. We're going to be turning this clockwise. I'm turning it clockwise so it can go up the inner tie rod away from the outer tie rod end. Now that I have movement from that, we can continue on. To remove the outer tie rod end from the steering knuckle, we have a 21mm mounting nut. Let's go ahead and remove that. Once you have it removed, a quick inspection, we're going to start it back on just a couple threads. Now we need to separate this area. This can be done using a separator tool, or you can use a hammer. A couple light taps will cause vibration. It should break it free. At this point, let's take hold of the outer tie rod end. We're going to start turning this counterclockwise. Count the amount of turns it takes to remove it and take note of that. 1, 2, and so on. Your results may vary. My count was 20. Like I mentioned, your results may vary. It depends on the alignment for your vehicle. There it is, friend. Now, prior to installation of any brand new part, let's make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. We have the threaded portion of our inner tie rod end. We'll use a wire brush for this. Just make sure nothing's rotted, weak, or damaged. This looks good. Let's continue on. Let's apply some anti-seize along this area for the outer tie rod end. Now we can install our outer tie rod end. We're going to start this on. When we install this, we want to make sure we install it the same amount of turns as it took to remove it originally. That was 1, 2, and so on. As I mentioned, your results may vary. We'll just adjust that as necessary so we can make our adjustment point here. Before we tighten that jam nut, let's make sure that we bring this tie rod end into place. We're aligning it with our steering knuckle. Go ahead and start on our mounting nut. After that, we can bottom it out, and I'm going to torque that to 59 foot-pounds. Now let's make our way back to the jam nut. We're going to turn this counterclockwise so it rests against the outer tie rod end. Continuing on, I'm just going to be turning this counterclockwise. I want to make sure it locks in up against that tie rod end. Right there's where it bottoms out. We'll just take it a tiny bit further. Let's just have a quick look at the outer tie rod end. We want to make sure that we have this level with the ground. You can tell that I am a little off kilter here. Of course, this is easily pivotable. Just take hold of it with some pliers, make any adjustment necessary. Once you have the wheel in place, go ahead and start on all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts. You're going to bottom them out in a crisscross manner. Once you have the wheel back on the ground, torque each one of the lug nuts to 148 foot-pounds. Now I have the wheel back on the ground. Let's go ahead and torque each one of our lug nuts to that 148 foot-pounds. Torqued. Okay friend, we finished the installation. Now the next thing we have to do is make our way inside the passenger compartment. You're going to take your vehicle for a road test down to your local alignment shop. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.